walls from gaslight to gaslight. Stage. Oh, takes notes when the clappers and the talkers and cameras in the race. You've got what it takes. Say too much. You will set the world back. You will set the world on fire. I can walk the demon. I can see the learning. Was killed for the lies that you've written. That makes sense to Bobby, she's the next real thing. Crowds in our lives, living like a banshee. We're in the boat, baby, we're in the water. Say too much. Oh, you will set the world, babe, you will set the world on fire. I can walk the street, babe, I can do the Allegedly.
We're going to play an interview now with Jerry Garcia that I did about a month ago in Eugene, in a hotel room. You have to get Jerry in the right mood, and he was at this time.
The weirdest thing lately that for me was that thing of the Ayatollah and the mind-sweeping children. Did you hear about that one?
The mind-sweeping children?
Yeah, he used kids to, and the war between Iran and Iraq, he used kids and had them line up in like a human chain, line up holding hands and walk across the minefields because it was cheaper than mine detectors.
That's unfathomable.
It's amazingly inhuman. I mean, and people complaining about the Shah, you know, and a few fingernails and stuff. I mean, this is kids, you know, like walking across the minefields, you know.
It seems like another planet.
Oh, right. It's like, so it's surreal, absolutely surreal. It's like, how could people go for that, you know? I mean.
All right, but in the face of that, how do you remain optimistic? You know, there's 48.
It's hard, man.
There's 48 wars going on now.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to remain optimistic.
And yet the music is joyful. Even "Please Don't Murder Me," you know, it's a joyful song.
Well, that's it. You know, I mean, well, when things are at that level, it's kind of a beauty to the simplicity of it. I wrote that song got written when the Zodiac Killer was out murdering in San Francisco.
I know that.
Yeah, and it was one of those things. Like it's one of those things that was like every night I was coming home from the studio, and it was that thing. I'd stop at an intersection, you know, and look around, and if a car pulled up, You know, it's like, oh, this is it. You know, this is it. I'm going to die now. You know, it's like.
And a lot of people knew that, and so they would pull up a car just to scare people.
Oh, sure. You know, so it's like a game. Every night I was conscious of that thing. You know, and it got to be, that refrain got to be so real to me. You know, like, please don't murder me. Please don't murder me.
Oh, so it came out of a literal truth. It wasn't even metaphorical.
No, not really. I mean, yeah. It was a coincidence in a way. You know, but there it was. It was also the truth at the moment, you know.
And then you extend that logically, the statistics show that young people, more than half of young people today, think there might be a nuclear war in their lifetime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But they also are concerned about whether they want to have career or marriage.
Right.
I guess if there's going to be a nuclear war...
Well, you got to do something in the meantime, you know.
You're right, there's not time for both.
Not really. Right, not really. Yeah, right. It does, I mean, the nuclear war thing, it seems like that's real, that's easy to see because it's true that most of the energy is still going to the old arms buildup. It hasn't changed a bit, not a bit, you know, it's more horrible than ever. And not only that, but we haven't done anything to get rid of all the old shit, you know. So it's, you know, that thing has been growing and growing and growing for the last 30, 40 years, and it looks bad. I mean, if you're a kid now, that's what you see, you know. That's the immediate past. All you see is there's been 40 years of this shit. Nobody has made any effort, serious effort to turn it in any direction. You know, I mean, I'm scared too, frankly.
It used to be that was one weird old man with a sign saying the world is coming to an end. And now you get them embossed on bumper stickers.
Right. Right.
But still, you know the parable of the 100th monkey?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, this is
100th monkey.
A kind of New Age parable about these monkeys on an island that have subsisted on sweet potatoes, and they eat them with the sand.
Oh, I know about those monkeys. Yeah, I know. That's a real thing, those monkeys. They wash them in the salt water.
But one monkey started it, one young monkey.
That's right, a young monkey, a young female monkey.
Oh, you knew it was female?
Yes.
Oh, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, it's a female monkey. I saw the thing on TV that ran it down.
Oh, so that's important because then other young monkeys started following suit.
Yeah.
And when there was a certain critical mass, and that's the metaphor of the 100th monkey, it could have been the 97th or the 108th, when that enough young monkeys were doing it, then the first adult monkey started doing it.
Oh, I see.
And so it's reverse generational influence.
Oh, I see.
Then other adult monkeys started doing it.
Oh, there was a moment then when they... Yeah, I remember them saying that there was like a moment when all of a sudden it seemed as though all the monkeys knew how to do it.
And then even on adjoining islands...
That's right. It was like all over. Suddenly it was in the culture.
A psychic connection. And
so
how that applies to human behavior
is
that each one of us, no matter what we're doing on an individual or a group basis, if we take ourselves as the 100th monkey that we represent symbolically,
right on,
we could be the one that changed the tide.
Absolutely, right. It always did seem like it was a matter of numbers. I mean, like you really only needed a percentage of, you know, people kind of pulling psychically in the right direction in order to just avoid the worst possible scenario. Yeah, yeah. And it always seemed like that the positive had some kind of natural inclination to get the weight. You know, like the destructive doesn't have, it lacks, destroying things lacks a certain element of organization or something. You know what I mean? It's like it's operating at a disadvantage essentially, because the idea of building things always requires some kind of agreement and so forth. The idea of destroying things doesn't require any of that. It's you know, it kind of works against itself in the long run. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I believe that idea. I always believed that the psychedelics meant that to me in a certain way. I always felt if enough people got turned on, there would be sort of a consciousness jump of some sort, you know, sort of a paradigm shift in reality somehow.
And I think it's been happening on a...
It's been much slower than anybody imagined. I mean, that's kind of the way I've chosen to deal with it philosophically myself, to avoid getting too discouraged, you know, in the meantime. Just to think of, well, it's going to take a long time.
Do you think that since the roots of the dead are psychedelic?
Yeah.
Do you think that affects the structure of a song in particular, or the structure of a concert in terms of the build-up?
Yeah. Yeah, I understand the question. It doesn't so much affect the structure of the song, particularly.
Except when you have a free rein in the middle of it.
That's right. And when sometimes a song, well, sometimes some of our songs are big affairs. And some of them are also meant to be opened up, you know, like to have, you know, they're kind of like loose leaf files. You know, you can open them up and stick things in them. Some of them are arranged that way so that you can sort of contain an experience of sort of direct it. And our second half definitely has a shape which is which, if not directly, at least partially inspired by the psychedelic experience as a waveform. You know what I mean? There's a sort of a rise and that. You know, that's the second half for us is the thing of taking chances and going all to pieces, you know,
Right.
and then coming back and reassembling.
And that's the leap of faith of the psychedelics, which is somehow I'll get back to that core.
That's right.
I may make a few convolutions in the process.
Right. You might lose a few pieces.
Right.
Right. But you don't despair about seeing yourself go to completely to pieces.
Right.
You don't despair about it. You let it go.
Not only do you let it go, but you find a positive virtue in, you know.
Yeah.
If I play out of tune, it's just so I have something more to compare.
Absolutely.
Playing in tune too.
Absolutely. You're right. And we've been doing some interesting things now. The last year or so, actually the last 2 years, we've been doing like our most free form stuff, the stuff that's not really attached to any particular song, but it's just free form music. It's not rhythmic. It's not really attached to any musical norms. You know, it's the completely weird shit. We've been doing stuff with that. We've been picking themes for that and saying and thinking of that as being like a painting or a movie, you know. And we've been picking themes like, I think our most recent theme was Reagan in China was one of our themes. We just do it like that. We take a theme, you know. One time we had the Gaddafi death squad was our theme, you know. Sometimes they're terribly detailed, the themes are, but sometimes they're just a broad subject, you know. And we do this when we think about it, when we remember to. It's not hard and fast ruled, but it's made that part of the music at times have some tremendous other level of organization that pulls it together. It makes it really interesting, you know. So and that's like it's like the thing of whether you worry about the world out there, you know, when you're having some kind of personal experience, a psychedelic experience or whatever, anything that's happening in your life, and that the world out there, how it affects you, how it sort of colors things that are happening in your trip or whatever, you know. It's like that works kind of that way. The music is like psychedelics in a way. I mean, and there are times even when I swear, I come off the stage and I swear I've been dosed. I mean, I'd swear to it, but I know I haven't, and it's happened to all of us in the band. I know it. There is some you know, biochemical reality in there that has to do with maybe the loudness of the music, or maybe like the Indians believe, the East Indians believe that intervals in music contain emotional realities. Their music is organized where each interval has like an emotional truth that goes along with it, you know. And so when they're playing your heart, you know, or they're playing a kind of nervous system music. That's the way they believe it, and it feels that way when you hear it too. You know, so there may be those kind of realities in there. They're kicking off some kind of biochemical, you know, subtle brain proteins, you know, changes of that sort. You know,
it could be that because there's certain notes when you reach on the guitar, I'll find my body moving, and when I'm real close to myself, I realize that what I'm doing is I'm producing endorphins.
Absolutely, absolutely right. It's there. I mean, you know, I don't know, you know, since that work has all been, you know, I mean, that work is kind of outre, you know what I mean? Nobody really is delving into that stuff to see, is it happening or is it not happening? Who knows how the cause and effect realities work?
But everybody needs a metaphor for the mystery, you know, so people who hear that 100th monkey story say, well, the first young female monkey, the first one to wash at the sweet potato probably was an Aries, and they have a pioneer spirit.
Oh, gotcha, right.
Something to measure it by.
Right, you are right. What was that sweet potato saying to that monkey?
That's right. Help me reach my sweet potato hook.
right, help me get the skin off.
When the truth is that those monkeys needed all of that sand on the sweet potatoes for roughage in their diet.
Yeah, right.
And these meddling anthropologists come along.
Right.
That is islands full of constipated monkeys.
Right. It's amazing.
What will we do about the next?
Yeah.
What I want to get back to that image you said of getting a theme. For how close to a gig will that happen?
Just before, you know, because it's like current events. You know,
just to kind of discuss it.
Yeah. Like whoever gets the idea, we'll just say it. Hey, tonight it's blah. You know. And I mean, it's not that often that we in fact, we've never had any kind of, we don't argue about it or anything. It's like, you know, somebody has an inspiration.
Right.
You know, so tonight it's, you know, the Bongo Straits, 1940, you know, or something, you know, whatever it is,
Right.
you know, Pearl Harbor, you know, anything. And we usually take it from just what's in the air, you know, like something in the news, you know, maybe it's somebody famous's birthday, you know,
Right.
any of those kind of
All right,
things.
but when
you
you do Ronald Reagan visiting China, will there be some little Oriental touch to the music
Oh
that comes
yeah,
out of
yeah.
that?
If you know what our theme is, and beforehand, and we used to tell the equipment guys, you know,
Right.
and then they would listen and see if they could hear any of it, you know. And yeah, there'll be a little of it there because there's always the thing of wanting to paint pictures, you know,
Mhm.
you know, doing something that's more or less literal. But a lot of times it doesn't come off that way. But what it does do is it provides this invisible infrastructure, you know what I mean, which everybody can interpret freely. It's a neat thing, you know, because everybody can interpret however they want, and it still provides a kind of a centerpiece for us all to look at. It's a neat way to do it, you know. It's provided for us more interesting shapes for that non-formed music, you know, that shapeless music.
Right.
It's provided like all kinds of interesting new shapes. Using that, like before we started using that idea, that music would tend to get sometimes it would get dispersed so far that you couldn't relate to it at all, you know. And sometimes it would make an effort to turn into something real fast, something familiar real fast, you know. So it would hover between these two poles, and there was something not quite juicy about it, you know, not quite as promising as it could be.
Well, because some things have more elements. If you were to take as a theme the Russians having dropped out of the Olympics,
Yeah,
you know, you can get...
that might be our theme tonight.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I get subliminal credit.
yeah, right. Sure, I'll use that. In fact, I'll mention that to the boys. That'll be good.
Yeah, because then you can get in, you know, theme like a Russian Kazutsky and the theme from Rocky. Combined.
Yeah, that's right. You know, little sports figures, you know, and sounds, you know, like the Cossacks and the horses on the steppes, you know, frozen, crunching snow, you know, and I mean, the nice thing about just sounds is you can paint pictures of anything, weather, you know, and you can use any turn of any frame, you know.
Well, that was always the advantage of radio over TV. On radio, they'd say, well, here we are on the moon. And
right.
Kind of imagine stuff. But on TV, you say that, you have to have a whole set built.
That's right, exactly. Radio used to be so great for that element of listener participation. You know, that was beautiful. That was neat.
Well, this is, all right, well, now we're doing this on radio now. People are listening to this. You can paint, what picture would you paint for them to see?
For them to see, well, let's see. We should be, you know, on enormous divans with silk cushions all over, surrounded by nubile maidens feeding us peeled grapes and
You came up with that one.
bubbly hookahs. And
You didn't have to think about that one very much, did you?
no. It's just all I had to do was tune into, let's see, rock and roll reality.
Right.
You know, that rock and roll place where things happen. You know, like interviews. You know.
And so as you listeners look around the room there, you'll see there are some young female monkeys washing sweet potatoes
Right.
in the saltwater bathtub.
There's the wreckage of Jeeps over there. You know.
Well, is there a dynamic that goes with the Dead on stage, a dynamic between the equipment people and the band and the stage manager?
Yeah.
And it's almost like, the only thing I can compare it to is being in public school and taking the braid of hair and the girl in front of you and sticking it in the inkwell.
Right, you are. Oh, yeah, right. Well, they're free to heckle us, you know. It's what you do when you're, you know, when you're in a comfortable situation, which is very familiar to you, and you know that you have that kind of freedom, you know, you have that kind of looseness. It's what you do. That's all.
Oh, but
the audience even does it when they're close enough,
right?
I mean, physically close enough. You know, so when the stage is small enough, you know, the people down in front get right into it too. You know, they jump right on that too. I love that stuff myself.
But I'm wondering if it's functional, if there's a certain subtle tension created that affects the music as much as...
Well, I think it might be functional in a lot of ways. For me, it helps to normalize the situation, because I always am battling stage fright, which is like my primal enemy. You know, it's like it's always working on me at some level, and I've always had to do a lot of things to get myself to be there on stage, to not be in a flight or fight space, you know what I mean? I've always had to settle myself. So the thing is that anything that lends itself toward sort of normalizing the situation helps me psychologically, personally. So that kind of stuff, just that the accessibility of it, the the routine quality.
The trust behind it, I think, is
And
important.
all that stuff is those things are all those kind of things. They really help me on that level, just kind of centering myself. I mean, I have a tremendous battle with that. That's always.
Do you have any rituals that you go through?
Oh yeah, I mean, my whole thing is like, I mean, if I were to translate myself into superstition, I mean, I would have rabbit's feet, and well, you know, I mean, I'd be festooned with that stuff. Yeah, in fact, my whole routine before going into a show is a ritual designed to tunnel vision myself away from that stage fright thing. It permeates me. It really does. It's a terrible enemy of mine, and it hasn't gotten better over the years either. You know, I always hoped it would, but it's a funny thing though. There's a demarcation moment somewhere that on stage, maybe after the third song, maybe the fourth, you know, somewhere along the line, when all of a sudden that just disappears and it's gone. It's as though it never were there. And from then on, it's totally cool. But every night, it's the same thing. Every day before a tour, the night before leaving, I can't sleep that night. I'm so used to it now, you know, because I'm so nervous and jacked up from the anticipation of that first show.
Right. It's
an amazing thing. It has such power. It's, you know, and I don't think it's not a phobia really, because I think I'd miss it if it wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know, in a way, and it's not exactly unpleasurable either. You know, and there's something to that tension. You know, but if it were just a little worse, I might go to a psychiatrist or something. You know what I mean? I might make some effort to adjust myself to do something about it, because it's one of those things that's almost uncomfortable. As it is, it's got just enough power where I've convinced myself that it's helpful. You know, so, you know, it's that kind of thing. But that's one of those things that people, I don't know whether people remember it or not, but the thing of just getting in front of a lot of people is a seed. You know, it's tough to do.
Oh, you know, the best description I've heard of that, and it applies as a filter to see a lot of human behavior through, is a phrase in a novel by Aldous Huxley. It's the only phrase I read in the whole book, because I didn't want to, everything else would have been anticlimactic. The phrase was excruciating orgasms of self-assertion.
Oh boy, oh boy, you said it.
And that's what it is. You know?
Yeah, oh boy, yeah.
Okay, well, do you have any concluding statements, like always leave your shower curtain inside the tub?
That sounds good to me.
I think it's
And keep your feet out of the toilet.
Right, because those constipated monkeys need it in case they get that bootleg X-Lax.
Those other sweet potatoes.
Although,
the black
you know, it is a good way to wash your feet.
I guess it probably is, that running water. It'd probably actually be pretty refreshing, too, on a hot day.
Yeah, right.
Well, okay, New Yorkers, get in your toilets right now.
Right. If you want to put your feet in the toilet, remember, what's a democracy for?
That's right.
One of the more popular climaxes to a Grateful Dead concert is the performance of the song Morning Dew. Also performed or recorded by dozens of other musical artists, the song has as interesting a history as that of many enduring American folk songs. The song's original author is Canadian-born Bonnie Dobson. Dobson grew up being influenced by Pete Seeger and was considered offbeat and rebellious because of her interest in the burgeoning folk music scene of the 60s. As a way to escape the boredom of her university studies, Bonnie began performing at local coffee houses and as the stock entertainment at parties.
One night, a friend of mine who was a concert promoter in Toronto, a man by the name of Marty Bachner, rang me up and said, "What are you doing tonight?" And I said, "Well, I've got a date." And he said, "Well, break it and come out with us. There's someone I want you to meet." And it was a man named Paul Endicott from Detroit. And in the course of the evening, I sang a few songs, and it wasn't like it was an audition or anything. It was just sort of, I mean, that always sort of happened. And he wrote me a letter 3 days later and said, "If you're interested in singing professionally, my wife and I think you're good, and we'll book you." And I thought, okay, this would be a nice way to spend the summer. And I went off. I did my first tour in, I think it was May 1960, with Brown and McGee and Sonny Terry.
Convinced Bonnie had talent, Endicott set up succeeding tours and festival events for her to perform and teach Canadian folk songs. Amidst the ensuing gigs and parties, Bonnie, with guitar in hand, had a new life as a folk music artist. It was during this time that she had a flash of inspiration.
I think it must have been I don't remember when it was, maybe 1960 or maybe 1959, I can't remember when. I saw a film called On the Beach. And it made a tremendous impression on me, that film, particularly at that time, because everybody was very worried, you know, about the bomb and whether, you know, whether we were going to get through the next sort of 10 years. It was a very immediate problem. And I'd sat up all night, and this song just came out, and really it was kind of a reenactment of that film in a way, where at the end there's nobody left, and it was a conversation between these two people and you know, trying to explain what's happening. And I mean, it was really, I suppose, apocalypse.
This is a song about morning dew, and I hope that it never falls on us. Take me for a walk in the morning dew, my honey. Take me for a walk in the morning sun, my love. You can't go walking in the morning dew today. You can't go walking in the morning sun today.
The first time I know I performed it where it actually made an impact was at the first Mariposa Festival in Toronto. And in fact, I remember vividly the review in the Globe and Mail. They said some things about me. They said, and a mournful dirge called Morning Dew. And she sang a mournful dirge.
The performance we just heard was from the 1962 release Live at Folk City. The first person to express interest in recording the song as a single was folk artist Fred Neil. So the president of Elektra called and asked Bonnie about publishing the song.
Jack Holtzman rang me in New York, and he said, you wrote Morning Dew, didn't you? And I said, yes. And he said, well, Fred Neil wants to record it, but and so we would like to publish it. So I signed a publishing deal with him. And Fred Neil was the first person to, well, rock it, really, because, I mean, the way I sang it was actually quite lyrical. It wasn't, and he rocked it, and he actually changed the lyric as well. Instead of saying, take me for a walk, he sang, walk me out in the morning dew. He was the one who changed it.
Walk me out in the morning dew, my honey. Walk me out in the morning dew today. Can't walk you out in the morning dew, my baby. Can't walk you out in the morning dew today.
Another musician mining the rich vein of folk music that was flowing throughout the U.S. was Tim Rose.
My first instrument was a 5-string banjo, so my background in music was bluegrass and blues, you know. So anything I heard that fit that particular style that I was interested in doing, I would adopt for myself.
Rose got his start in the music business back in 1965-66, rewriting and covering traditional folk songs for CBS. The first Tim Rose single released was a rearrangement of Hey Joe, which brought that song out of obscurity back before Hendrix recorded the song for his first record. Based on this minor success, Rose continued to record folk songs he had heard and used in his live performances in New York City's Greenwich Village.
I heard a song, a version of this song called Morning Dew. It was a little folk song, and I said, yeah, that's a nice little change. The changes are what I heard, you know, the chord changes. And I wrote a whole bunch of lyrics to it. I just liked the melody, you know, so I did a little more with the melody. I heard a very rough version of nothing like the Grateful Dead recorded or I ultimately recorded, but there was a glint of an idea there. And I went home and I put some, really, this is not deep. I put some words together that rhymed and seemed to tell a story. But as you well know, the song, I mean, there is no punchline, there's no bridge, there's no middle eight, there's no recurring theme to it, other than the fact of morning dew, and that has come over the years to mean a lot of things to different people.
CBS wanted to issue Tim Rose's version of Morning Dew as an original single, and although the song was originally written by Bonnie Dobson, Both Dobson and Rose would receive co-credit, even though they never collaborated or even met.
Timmy Rose, I've never met him. He was written into the contract subsequently. I think it was 1967. As I had a call from Manny Greenhill saying, Tim Rose is going to record your song, but he wants to make a few changes, and can you write a new, can you write a new lyric? And I said, I remember I was sitting on a plane flying from Toronto to Vancouver. I was doing a television show and sitting writing this thinking, what am I doing this for? Sort of thing. And then because I had performed it and published it after, I hadn't done it the way you're supposed to do things. So it was sort of somewhat in the public domain. And I must admit, when I heard his version, I suddenly said, oh, hey, what's going on here? Because to me, there was no substantial change. And actually, if we're really honest about this, if anyone was going to be credited as a co-writer or co-lyricist, it should have been Fred Neil, because all Tim Rose did was take Freddie Neil's changes.
Walk me out in the morning dew, my honey. Walk me out in the morning dew, my honey. Can't walk you out in no morning dew. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I can't walk you out in the morning dew today.
But listen, I hear a man moaning, Lord. I know I hear a man moaning, Lord.
You didn't hear no young man moaning, Lord. Oh, you didn't hear no young girl cry. I thought I heard a baby cry this morning. I thought I heard a baby cry today.
You'll never hear your baby cry.
You didn't hear no baby cry today. Where have all the people gone this morning? Where have all the people gone today? Well, you'll never find no people here this morning.
Don't you worry about the people anymore.
Now there's no more morning.
Morning Dew has been January 14, 1967. Tim Rose recounts meeting the Dead at one of the first pantheons of rock and roll, the Fillmore Auditorium.
Bill Graham called CBS and asked if they could get me to come out and do 2 weeks at the Fillmore. And I went to the Fillmore, and I played electric guitar, I had a drum bass, and I had, oddly enough, 2 girl singers. And we did our set, and I was doing Morning Dew live. I had recorded it, but I hadn't released it as a single. And that's where Jerry heard it. Then the Dead recorded it, and it ended up that the Grateful Dead has been the greatest boon for my songwriting in the past 20-some years now, 30 years almost.
I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it does matter.
I think people can interpret a song like that in different ways. You know, it's like some people read poetry and they might take a completely different meaning from it. And I think that's true of that song. I mean, I know when I've heard other versions of people doing it, and it's obvious that whatever they're singing about, it's not what I was thinking about or still think about when I sing it.
When asked what a song means, and songwriters have been asked this forever, it's real. I've never attempted to tell you or your listeners what it means. I mean, whatever they want it to mean is what it means. It's that simple. It's, you know, what it means to me is one thing. It means something different to me every time I sing it.
Whatever meaning you may apply to this song, one can interpret the unique images expressed by the words in many ways. Originally, the shattered human dream of a post-nuclear war Earth depicted in the movie On the Beach served as a backdrop for the song Morning Dew.
Who would ever have believed that human beings would be stupid enough to blow themselves off the face of the earth?
I don't believe it even now.
Well, we didn't want a war. We didn't start it. Come on now, how did it start? The trouble with you is you want a simple answer. There isn't any. The war started when people accepted the idiotic principle that peace could be maintained by arranging to defend themselves with weapons they couldn't possibly use without committing suicide. Everybody had an atomic bomb and counter bombs and counter bombs. The devices outgrew us. We couldn't control them. I know. I helped build them. God help me.
That's really what it was about. It was really about that film and the feelings, well, the fearful feelings that we had at that time. And then things got better, and then they got worse. And we are where we are now. And actually, I think the song, if anything, is more of this time, of the present, than it even was then.
This Roots of the Dead segment was produced by Randy Jackson and Lance Neal. So everything you ever wanted to know about the song Morning Dew was contained right there. Randy Jackson did a great job going to the far ends of the earth to procure the interview with Bonnie Dobson. And
they didn't say this in so many words, but if they get together, you know, they're going to hear him and things are going to start happening. And, you know, obviously, I mean, compared to anyone else, you know, that's been on the band and left, I mean, you know, it's nowhere near the same as Jerry, but, you know, I mean, these things can go on for years. You know, Kingston Trio is different than when it started, and, you know, maybe one day we'll be hearing them on Mars. I just wanted to know what you guys thought about that, you know.
Well, I think that the band hasn't really announced what it is they're going to do. I've been reading on the internet. They've been meeting, and they had a few meetings, and they decided to really look at the band decision sometime after the new year. But it does seem that they're closing down a lot of their operations. I heard they just sent pink slips around to the whole Grateful Dead merchandising, and they're going to be letting them go as of the first of the year and possibly selling up merchandising off to Arista.
My personal attitude is, hey, they've been at it for 30 years, and whatever they decide to do for their own lives should be fine with us and fine with everybody else.
They've been making everybody happy for a really long time, and now it's time for them to make themselves happy.
True.
Thanks for calling.
All right, thank you. This is
Okay.
Eric from Manhattan, by the way.
All right, Eric.
All right.
Okay, WBAI 212-279-3400 to pledge your support to keep the Grateful Dead and related configurations on the air, commercially free, and 212-279-3407 to talk on the air live. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello. I just want to talk about, in the internet, a lot of the controversy that's been going on with the deadheads and fish heads, and that they are saying that, deadheads really shouldn't like fish, and that we're really corrupting them. But I really don't feel that way, and I think, the dead and fish are both very much, I don't think...
Well, I think what the fish heads are all feeling is the same thing the deadheads felt in '87 when a bunch of touch heads came in. It isn't that the people who are coming in don't appreciate the music, it's that they aren't being introduced to it, and they're having their scene played in a way that they weren't playing it before, and that they felt they set up rules of how to go to a show and how to listen to the music and who you record and what you treat your neighbors like and your brothers and sisters like. And all of a sudden there's people who are there who aren't there for what they're there for.
It's hard for younger heads to understand, but when the Dead first started really touring in a major way in the early 70s, there was no scene. It wasn't like anybody came out to the shows and said, well, this is what the scene should be like, and this is the way you should act, and this is the way you should go from town to town, and blah, blah, blah. That just became a feature of, it created itself, and it grew by itself, and now people seem to want to put rules on it and say that you have to do things this way, or you can't act that way, or blah, 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 and I think that's sort of self-defeating. The
I was
purpose.
on Dead Tour, and I was also on Fish Tour, and, you really can't tell the difference at the scene before the shows. They're very much the same, and I just think a lot of the controversy that's going on is really needless, and that I think they should be, condoning that other heads come in and to their community, because they're just a lot of the same kind of people, and I think that they could all, combine very nicely.
I think a lot of what's occurred within the scene, people talk about all this, the great controversy of people throwing down the gates of the Dead this summer. I seem to remember back in the early 80s that, this happened here and there too, There was a different feel to it of, it wasn't so drastic and there wasn't rock throwing, but...
I can't even imagine, airplane people saying, you can't come to our shows because you're a deadhead, or, or people that were into Quicksilver saying, you can't go see the Airplane because it's a different scene, or vice versa.
Yeah.
It's all music, and it's all for a good time, and it's also people can go and enjoy themselves.
Because on the internet, there's a lot of controversy going on now, or on, the Fish News group, they're just all the deadheads, you're just a bunch of, burnouts and whatever, where the new people, where everyone who listens to Fish is below 30 years old, and I just think that's not...
Well, that expression lately has changed to don't trust anybody who earns over 30,000.
And what goes
that
on?
One.
What's going on the internet is just people talking to each other from their minds and expressing themselves. What goes on the internet is just on the internet. What's in reality is reality. And I think we should be careful not to confuse the reality of cyberspace with the reality of real space.
Or take it more seriously just because it is on the internet. It's people's opinions, and everybody has a right to them and a chance to express them. But whatever is going to happen is going to happen.
Also, beware of those people who sit at home for hours and hours and hours in their house and just type into the computer.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thanks for calling. WBAI, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Did you have something you wanted to tell us or ask us?
Yes, I do.
Go right ahead.
Actually, what I want to say is I think, would it be a good idea is if, maybe, how everybody got together at Strawberry Fields the night of the vigil, how it would be a good idea if, we kept that going, maybe, on an annual basis or something. Because I was on the West Coast a couple of weeks ago, and, there wasn't really much going on there. And it'd be kind of good if we can keep the scene just sort of together the way it is, always.
So, do it. Get out there and do it. Organize it.
There's not enough people, together doing it.
Well, don't wait for other people to organize it for you. If that's what you want to do, go out there and do it.
I think if BAI could set up some sort of a meeting zone, any place, we can get a nice drum circle going or something, anything, just a bunch of heads.
Well, I do know we're going to have some information about a new movie coming out about the people that follow the Grateful Dead called Tie-Dye. We interviewed the director of the film, and we have some sound from it. And I know that when that debuts on the 22nd of September down on 3rd Avenue, 11th Street at the Sony Theaters there, they said they picked theaters to run the movie to show it based on their ability to encourage people to have drum circles and vending and whatever else they want to do. So I guess on the 22nd of September, that's one place that you can go check out if you want to be part of that, see the movie, and hopefully there may be a scene revolving around it.
Yeah, but it'd be good if we could do it like on a bi-weekly thing or something, because unfortunately it's never going to happen again, like with the touring and.
Well, this applies to all deadheads. A famous American poet once said, "You shouldn't let other people get your kicks for you."
And if there's enough people that really want to do what you're talking about, the feeling is really there, it'll happen. And we have to wait and see, I think. I mean, not necessarily to sit back and wait, but time will tell whether the energy is still there and that people want to come together. We're coming together tonight on the radio, and
that's a nice medium.
People are getting together on the internet. That's maybe the more modern technological way, but I think people, like you say, do feel the need to gather, and I think it'll happen. But things are going to have to work themselves out, just like the band is going to have to decide what they want to do. It doesn't have to be decided today or tomorrow, but it will.
Well, I think if they want to go their separate ways, like you said before, I mean, 30 years, if they want to sell it off to Arista, I mean, it's a burden off their shoulders. It'd be nice if Flesh came around and did something on its own, but Bob Wasserman and Rat Dog, that's nice on its own, too. But, I mean, just as far as heads staying in touch with one another, I think over the years it's just slowly going to dwindle down to just, BAI and normal taping heads from 10 to 12. And it's sad to think that looks like what it's going to be. There's not too many heads out there are uniform enough to, really just stay together. I don't see any drum circles coming down the line.
But that's why BAI and what we're doing here tonight and today is the most important thing. There are no more shows in the foreseeable future. The only new shows you're going to hear is on this station.
Exactly.
On this radio. And if you want BAI or this show or somebody to help spread it, the more people send in money and call 279-3400 and just keep calling, giving money, and they see Deadheads want this on the air, it will maybe expand from 10 to 12 to 9 to 12. It will get bigger and bigger. This will be our home. This will be our show and a way to communicate. Maybe we can have an annual thing. We could have maybe a statue of Jerry in Central Park. But it has to start with people calling in 279-3400 and sending the money in now to keep things going. Because if we don't keep it going, no one's going to do it for us.
What'd be great is if you could broadcast BAI like in a public forum, like in Central Park or in some type of park on Saturday nights, where a bunch of heads could get together, thousands of them, and just tune into BAI for 2 hours. That would be great.
Well, that would be a wonderful event to have happen, but, those events cost a lot of money to do remotes. Now, if you all send a lot of money, then we can arrange to have these expensive remotes. So you got to send piles of money, oodles of money, trust funds, college funds, donate your cars, donate your homes, donate your tape collection. Send everything into BAI, and then we can do these wonderful things together.
Sell everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, and then once you have nothing, then you can truly be free.
Then you're truly free, that's correct.
All right, thanks for calling.
Thanks. Take care, guys.
Take it easy. All right, I know the Grateful Dead has inspired us all in many different directions when they were playing, and now that they're not, it's really up to us to pull things together and to continue in a lot of directions that they started us on.
It's a big unfair burden to place on the shoulders of the band to have them be responsible for the social lives of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people across the country that think that they're not going to be able to get together and have a good time unless the band gets out there and tours around the country. If people want to get together and have a good time and have scenes and have general enjoyment of themselves, there's nothing stopping them from going out and doing it. It's right out there. Just get out there and do it.
Yeah, maybe there can be a Jerry Garcia National Park or something when we all meet on a weekly basis.
Well, that's why I like the idea. If we have a statue in Central Park of Jerry, we'll know where to go, and we'll know when to go there.
Off the hook upstairs.
Jerry Lance.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, I'm calling just because I talked to Lance a little while ago. We tried dropping off some reconstruction tapes, but yesterday the doors were locked. We just had two very close friends pass away that we started going to shows with for a long time, Eric Flood. And from the boys, me, Matt, Mike, and Judd, we were wondering if you could possibly play the To Lay Me Down from Dijon, France. I believe it's 81. Anytime in the show, if that would be possible.
All right. Sorry to hear about your friends.
Yeah, and their day apart, too, is very, very sad.
It's a shame.
It's been a tough summer.
We're losing a lot of people lately.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to dig deep into our tape collections and try and find that, and we're going to do our best. I hope you won't be too disappointed if it doesn't happen within the next 4 hours or so here. But this program happens every Saturday night, and I don't see why there's any reason why we can't try and get around to that as soon as possible, as soon as we get a good copy of the tape.
Any reason for that particular song from that particular show?
It's just like tape, and I just sat down, it meant a lot to me, and I just started crying.
Well, thank you for sharing with us, and I hope this ends up being something that you go through as opposed to just trying to get over, because you know your friends loved you, and love stays on forever.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Take care, man.
Lance, maybe it's a good time to talk about death and how we carry on. I don't know if it's talking about Jerry and his concern for the environment. I think, how do we remember people when they're gone? They're very important to us. They're very close to us. And in case of Jerry, for many of us, one of the most important people in our lives, more important than our family. I think one of the things we might do just to keep Jerry alive is to think about some of the things he said and that he cared about and what he wanted to do in addition to playing music. We know he really cared about the environment, and we know what the Dead's involvement with the rainforest was and so on.
Last night, in the middle of the night, we played a 1967 interview with Jerry, and he touched very widely on things that were happening in the environment in 1967. And the things that he was saying in that interview didn't sound a whole hell of a lot different than the things that we're still saying today.
Well, that was his point. Somebody said 20 years ago, if we don't do anything, it's going to be too late. And a lot of people are saying nothing's going to get done until it is too late. But I think for a lot of the way what this world was, it is already too late. And I don't think you can be hasty enough as far as trying to make yourselves aware of what some of the larger problems are. And if everybody can just stop for a moment as far as what they're doing and pay attention to the Earth's survival, and as Jerry said, hopefully that'll include our survival as well.
Yeah, well, he really wanted it saved, so hopefully a bunch of us can go on and perhaps honor his life by trying to preserve it. And I remember reading in one place, he said, being very involved in diving, he said, if we had this, if we could have been doing diving and scuba diving before, we wouldn't have needed drugs. He obviously was very blown away by what he experienced of life underwater, and it'd be nice if we could try to keep it around for his grandchildren.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could actually swim in the water that we have on this planet.
Yeah, well, it's only
maybe even drink it sometime.
Well, Deadheads should definitely move to the forefront as far as getting involved, being activists, being catalysts for programs on a local level, on a national level, because let's face it, like Metallica heads are not going to be the ones that are going to do it, and the Deadhead community has always been the most socially responsible, and don't leave it up to the band to have to do this stuff for you. People should get out there and take their own initiative and do it themselves. Because if the Grateful Dead in 1967 waited for other people to get out there and lead them, there might never have been a Grateful Dead and a whole scene like that.
Yeah, their job is just to play music, and they will, if they decide to do that in the future. Everything else is up to us. It's always been that way, and it will continue to be.
WBAI, you're on the air.
Hey, how's it going? I just called. I just was compelled to call to tell you guys that you're really doing a good job. I mean, I've been with you. I've been listening pretty much the whole time since about, I went to bed for a little bit, but then
how dare you?
Playing some good stuff, and I hope you get the support you need. I didn't even really know much about the show. I mean, I'd had tapes from, I think you guys used to do a show called Dead Air a long time ago on this station. Got some tapes of that. Just, keep up the good work you guys are doing really
Did you
well.
pledge, by the way?
What's that?
Have you sent us a pledge yet?
Yeah, I did last night.
Okay, well, call your
Thank
friends.
you very much.
Great.
Greg from Rockland.
Hi, Greg.
All right, wanted to say thank you guys for keeping the memories alive. It's really important now that Jerry's gone. Hopefully the boys will get back together though, and keep things moving. Because I heard that Valentine's tape that you guys played a while ago, like a couple of weeks ago.
Right, from the Fillmore.
Really impressive with Henry Kaiser. Like that set with they did Take Me to the River and some other stuff like that. It sounded really nice. And Ain't That Peculiar. It was a really nice version. Hopefully maybe they'll come up with something like that. You think anything like that's possible?
Yeah, I think anything is possible for sure. But the Grateful Dead are born musicians, and they're going to play music again.
I think Henry Kaiser has a new tribute CD out that just came out or is on its way out within the last couple of days, put together with a lot of musicians from the scene, but I couldn't give you any details on it.
I'll keep my eyes open for it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kaiser ended up being one of the people that the Dead tried out in the band.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
I would be surprised if they tried people out for the band. Yes.
Oh, I think they're gonna try people out before they give it up.
I also, a friend of mine said that he heard something about Carlos Santana saying he wanted to, he was thinking about like learning a few, like 15 or so Dead songs and touring, like, I don't know, just like a couple of weeks ago.
Would you buy a ticket?
I'd love to see Santana with the band, should the Dead rather.
I think that might be an interesting thing to see. I don't think that's going to be the Grateful Dead. It might be an interesting thing if they went out with
sure be
5
totally
or 6
different than anything
world-class
that would
guitar
seem to be
players.
interesting, I think.
If I could sort of throw an analogy at this, I remember, God, this had to be maybe 10 years ago. Dickie Betts was having a lot of problems physically, and the Allman Brothers played 2 shows. I couldn't tell you the
Thanks for calling,
locations,
Guy.
but they brought in, for one show, they brought in another guitarist, and for a second show, they brought in another guitarist. They were like on-stage tryouts,
And
basically.
remember who Dickie Betts replaced. I guess that probably didn't seem like it was
Dickie Betts didn't
possible.
replace anyone.
Well, I guess, but when you think about bands lose members, this may be different than.
I mean, Led Zeppelin tried not to tour again, and they had to. The Who tried it; they had to keep going.
And Spinal Tap kept losing their drummers too. You know?
Yeah, but you don't hear much from them anymore.
WBAI, you're on the air. Hello. Anybody home? Anybody there? Hello.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'd like to say, they've been playing for so long. We have so much music. I mean, people are like, oh, they have to play again. Like they need something to do. Like they have to do something with their lives. I mean, maybe it's time to save his music. We have so much of it. We can just go on forever. And, I'm sure Bob will play on and people, but the Grateful Dead, as it was with Jerry, I mean, it's over. I mean, and we just need to embrace his music.
Well, that's what we're doing tonight. I think that is definitely going to continue to happen. And obviously what you said is absolutely true. The Grateful Dead, as we knew it with Jerry Garcia, is over. That's a fact, and whatever comes in the future will be different, whether it's called the Grateful Dead or not. But if we're inspired to buy tickets and go see whatever comes next, we will. And the story of that is yet to be written. And
I would
we'll
love
see.
to see them, to Jerry play with Santana, maybe tour as a tribute. But I mean, not to say that they would use Jerry, but they make a lot of money. I mean, maybe it's time to just relax and Bob go on his own. And
Well, I mean, one of the benefits if the band goes on and they're not as popular is we'll be able to see the rest of the band be playing in smaller venues, which I certainly would appreciate, seeing a drums in space in a smaller venue. And Jerry did amazing, wonderful, continuous things, but there is still the rest of the band that can do some wonderful space.
But are you ready for the Vince Welnick band at the
No,
dinner
Vince,
theater
Vince
coming
and
to
the
your
Welnick
town?
Tones are not something I'm going for.
Tell your friends to send in their money.
I have. I tried one, but we'll see how far I get after that.
What's on your mind?
I was considering also that it might be really nice if the Dead did one last memorial concert, and I thought it would be interesting if they could select a number of guitar players to go through a number of different songs, like Dickie Betts and Carlos Santana.
So it'd be sort of like Karaoke Dead, where people
Well, it would be a
sort of
little more
stand
like
in.
the Freddie Mercury concert, where they played the entire night and they had the band and then just brought out selected people for each various song. Who else would you like to see play with the Grateful Dead?
I think Eric Johnson would be cool. I think Dickie Betts, Carlos,
Who's Eric Johnson?
maybe Clapton.
I don't want to show my ignorance.
Maybe George Harrison could do a tune.
George Harrison, I think, would be a great singer for the Grateful Dead. I think he really could front the band well, because he's one of the few people you'd believe that the words coming out of him are all true and that he lived it and that he was there for the muse.
Maybe Elvis Costello would want to do a few songs.
That's true. You could also look at it in terms of guitar players and vocalists.
I'll tell you, I thought the only person I thought of who could fit the right number of notes in, as well that Garcia did, and do it intellectually well, and do it right, would probably be someone like Robert Fripp could really fit a lot of notes in with the Grateful Dead and do it intellectually well. I think that might be an interesting mix.
It could be interesting.
Or maybe Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck would be fun with the Grateful Dead.
Saw him just a couple of weeks ago at the beach. He was great in the rain. But he doesn't use the fretboard. Everything is like in between notes, really melodic. He's a lot like Garcia with his MIDI. It's like trumpet playing, and Beck was like a horn player. It was hard to. I play guitar, so
Maybe you'll sit in.
to hear him like hit a plain note on a fret. Everything seemed to be between notes with. But it was really cool.
212-279-3400. Thanks for calling.
I thank you.
And thank you for
Good
sending your money, and tell everybody else to send their money, too, because we need lots of it.
There's still a lot of phone lines open, and we have an abundance of volunteers, so please keep them busy. Please keep the Grateful Dead alive over WBAI. 212-279-3400. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi. I wanted to bring back to mind the interview you played earlier with Jerry and Paul Krasner, the man who used to be the publisher of, I think it was The Realist.
The Realist, right.
Right, where they were talking about the 100th monkey.
The 10,000th monkey, right.
Right, Jerry was saying that there's a critical mind mass that occurs where, the story with the monkey was that one young female monkey started washing the sweet potatoes, and one by one the other young monkeys, were observing this. And bit by bit, they all started washing their sweet potatoes. And then eventually the adult generation took that over. But what Jerry and Paul noted that was even more interesting was on another island where the monkeys didn't swim back and forth, the monkeys on the next island started doing the same thing, washing their sweet potatoes. And there was no way that one set of monkeys could have trained the other set of monkeys.
Amazing, isn't it?
So, I think the point that Jerry and
The same sort of thing happens worldwide when scientists are trying to create certain crystals to do certain things, that within hours of each other around the world, separately, scientists will create the same crystals. It's all energy movement and opening your mind to freeing the energy that all controls us. And, then after you open your mind to the energy that controls us, you have to open your wallet and send your money to BAI at 279. What's the rest of that? 3, 4?
Some of us even recognize these callers who are calling in. We know that you have a few pennies, and we ask you definitely to dig in your pocket, Mr. Atkinson, and send us a penny here.
I certainly will.
That's what happens what he's talking about is when mass, which is essentially made up primarily or substantially of energy, travels at the speed of light, there can be interconnected things and synchronicities going on, not only on this planet or the solar system, but throughout the universe. So it's just, I guess, a heightening of your senses and awareness to be able to pick up some of those factors.
And the band and other bands gave us 30 years worth of training. So certainly there must be some critical mass that's in occurrence, and that we ourselves now can extend this energy back and forth and keep building on it. We're all individual centers of this energy.
Yeah, well, how would you propose we do this, though? It's, without the shows themselves, except for this 279-3400 WBAI
that's one
center, how else can we do this?
Well, that's one of the things that we each have to do in our daily lives, is be a center of that energy. And
there you go.
Moment by moment, day by day, do, quote-unquote, the right thing.
212-279-3400. Thank you for your call. We hope you're going to check into the pledge board and call up the tally room to make a contribution to commercial-free radio, New York City, one of the very few outlets that's available in this part of the country that's doing what we're doing. No Deadhead Hour in New York. The commercial stations didn't find it within their bottom line to put the Grateful Dead music on their radio stations. And if you don't keep BAI supported, the same fate could happen to this frequency
Not only
as well.
did they not decide to put it on, but they kicked it off. They had it on and kicked it off.
We still have Howard Stern, so life is not...
Numerous benefits, not only for the rainforest, but the Rex Foundation shows were shows that left money from the shows in the local communities to help with hospice for AIDS patients, for homeless shelters, for musical societies, for food banks.
Foundation.
Helping third world countries with cheap operations to prevent childhood blindness and a lot of disease. So I think they were as deep as any organization was in terms of giving back to the communities and keeping the community spirit alive.
Anybody that brought that much joy to so many people, I think that's enough. I mean, anything else that he did was extra.
Marijuana Defense Fund benefits, anti-nuclear benefits.
Anybody that said that Jerry Garcia preached anything to anybody specific doesn't know what they're talking about.
That's right.
Garcia's biggest desire in life was never to have been labeled that he
No
told
message.
anybody anything.
Right.
He went out there and played music, and people enjoyed.
If you definitely want to get fucked up, left by you, let it take all your money, your kids, your clothes. Listen to me. I know the way. Hey! These are the commandments of love. As written by man, for woman to obey. Hey! Hey! Commandment number 1. Thou shalt not have no other man but me. Number 2. Call my name so every woman may holler it too. Number 10. opposite night on an army with your irritation. Without your If you see me walking, this is important now, right? You guys all cheat on your girlfriend, right? If you see me walking down the street with another woman, wait intelligently till we get home. So we both can discuss it sensibly. Because I detest the scandal and of the street. You're very funny, man. Hey! Commandment number 9. If you think I'm seeing another lady, don't wait to find out from someone else. When you do find out, just never say a word to me. 'Cause I'm your friend. Thank you. It's so kind. After the show, I decided I'm going to sign myself into Bellevue Hospital, so they probably won't be seeing me for a while. This is it for me. Bellevue is the next step. What else could be asked of the heat but Bellevue? I'm in room 321. Anybody wants to come and visit me, come up anytime.
Come on, let's do this together. Get your motor running and head out on the highway. We're looking for adventure in whatever comes our way. Yeah, that'll go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. I like smoking lightning and heavy metal thunder, racing with the wind, and that feeling that I'm under. Yeah, and go make it happen. Take the world in a love embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. Like a true nature's child, we were born to be wild. We can climb so high, I never wanna die. Born to be wild. Born to be wild. Hey now. Get your motor running and head out on the highway, looking for adventure in whatever comes our way. Yeah, let 'em go make it happen. Take the world in a love embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. Like a true nature's child, we were born to be wild. We can climb so high, I never wanna die.
all the way to Italy from America. And I have such good news for everybody here in Italy. And I am so pleased to be the harbinger of this joy, Tony Mixie. Hey, listen, sisters, you should wear a smile. Jump for joy just like a child, 'cause big fat mamas are back in style. Listen, brothers, hey, come on, turn that dial. Hear that cry, they're going wild, 'cause big fat mamas are back in style. You need a big fat mama, and boys, you can't go wrong. Yes, a big fat mama to rule your home, sweet home. Well, listen, mamas, you got to keep that double chin, because the little fat mamas and the big fat mamas are back in style again. Yeah. Brian Coonan on the guitar, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, mama, you don't need a waistline. Don't try to get streamlined. Keep that fat right where it's at, 'cause it's life. You need a big fat mama, and boys, you can't go wrong. Yes, a big fat mama to rule your home, sweet home. Well, listen, sisters, you should wear a smile. Jump for joy just like a child, 'cause big fat mamas are back in style. I told you I had good news. Didn't I? What I'm saying? Oh, yes!
You gonna stomp your feet? Let's go!
Francisco!
the smart girls know why. It doesn't mean I didn't try. I just never know why. It's because I'm all alone. Ooh, baby, you're not at home. And when I'm on, big deal, I'm still alone. It's a restless I am. Beat my head against the pole. Try to knock some sense down in my bones. And even though they don't show, the scars are so old. And when they go, they let you know. You can't put your arm around a memory. You can't put your arm around a memory. You can't put your arm around a memory. Don't try. Don't try. You're just a basket case, and you got no name. 'Cause you're living with me, we're one and the same. And even though they don't show, the scars are so old. And when they go, they let you know. Okay, you can't put your arm around a memory. You can't put your arm around a memory. You can't put your arm around a memory. Don't try. Don't try. Don't try. Don't try. Don't try. Put your arm around a memory. Put your arm around a memory. Put your arm around a memory. Don't try. Don't try. Don't try.